How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Oh my gosh, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I have been like in and out of stomach sickness and chills all day. I don't know what's going on with me, but I really didn't want to let you guys down. So I'm really happy to be here. We'll just hang out for about an hour tonight. I think we can get through at least another exhibit or two. So that's the plan. So thank you for all the well wishes in the chat. I appreciate you guys. The intro always pumps me up. It's really sweet. Oh, Christina, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. So I had saw, Melissa, your comment about all the sick people when you guys were at the hospital. I hope everything's okay with Mike and his heart. And 20 plus of 30 patients who had the stomach bug. So I had puke buckets on their laps. It's just going around. It's going around right now. So I don't want to do individual hellos only because I don't want to make you guys wait any longer. I want to get right into it. And because we won't be here very long. I know that Jen and Dr. B are going on at 8. And I think that's all that else that's happening tonight, like in the true crime, in this little corner of the true crime community. So this has been a really interesting, dive into her lawsuit and actually which grievances she filed, how she did it, and how they responded. And we're on Exhibit 3. So we're going to go down because remember, they put the response before her grievance. And it looks like I was looking ahead a few minutes ago, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty long one. So let's see. The first one was in January of 2024. Hey, you guys coming in. I'm so happy to see you all. Thank you for being here. And I'm reading all your comments and stuff. I just want you to know, just because I don't like not doing the individual hellos, but I know some people just want to get into it. Thank you, Daniel. That's sweet. Okay. So January of last year, Letecia sends this appeal of grievance to the secretary. Now, she says, again, remember, she was just threatening the lawsuit. She even had it written out like an actual lawsuit document on notebook paper. And here I see already, we're seeing that again. Remedy request. Revocation of the interstate compact to prevent filing a habeas corpus. Illegal detention. She wants to be moved. You know, it's funny because I do remember a time when she talked about how wonderful prison was. Hey, Wolfie. And I saw your comments before too. And thank you. Thank you for being here. So, you know, she was just saying how wonderful prison was, how they got to do so much stuff. They had access to so much good food and, you know, KFC. And she watches football and wrestling and listens to music and watches movies and blah, blah, blah. Well, it appears that all that time she was doing all that talking, she really was not very happy there. Yes, I'm okay, Wolfie. I just got a stomach thing. I got some kind of thing going on. I don't know what it is, but hey, MK. Illegal detention. I know. Okay, she is. Everyone who says it's wonderful is a liar. Well, she called it Prisonland. So she says, please see attached sheet. Secretary of Corrections is directed to carry at the compact. So KSA, Interstate Corrections Compact, Article 4, all inmates who may be confined. I'm glad she's given them the laws and stuff like they don't know it. All inmates who may be confined, which they all do, quote case law, but not necessarily like this, like as definitions. Okay, all inmates who may be confined an institution pursuant to the provisions of the compact shall be treated reasonable and in a humane manner and shall be cared for and treated equally with such similar inmates of the receiving state. Meaning, I need to be placed with people who might have similar charges. So you want to be placed with other people who murder people. Inmates may be confined pursuant to the laws of the sending state and not be denied civil liberties. Inmates confined in an institution pursuant to the terms of this compact shall at all times be subject to the jurisdiction of the sending state. Please also read section 4, A, B, D, and F. Oh my God. Like you could have just made your point, quoted whatever you needed to, like they usually do, but of course not. Of course not with Letecia. She needs to spell it out for them, even though she's illiterate. So the statute states the Secretary of Corrections is hereby authorized and directed to do all things necessary or incidental to the carrying out of the compact in every particular power. Note, I did go through Uniteam and gave them several copies of Form 9s. The facility does not have numbers in paper Form 9s, so I labeled them. And she gives all the labels. Here are the electronic numbers. Continued electronic. These statute, look how many grievances she's filed. Paper copies of 12, 10, 11, 12, 19, 22, 26, 27, 34, and 32. And then electronic grievances that end in 6-1, 8-1, another 8-1, 9-1, 7-1, 9-1, 3-1, 4-1, 6-1, 7-1. They're different. It's just, I just read the last two numbers. They're all different. These statutes, not statutes, like something a word you would see in this kind of paperwork, but statutes, like the fucking Statue of Liberty, okay? That's what she's talking about here. These statutes demonstrate that the ICC needs revocation under Kansas statutes, Constitution, and under IMPP. She is no longer safe in KDOC. The facility has deemed me a security threat. Well, yeah, when you are caught writing letters, planning an escape, or if you want to use your monster can as a weapon on a full one on a law enforcement officer, you might be a security threat. And even if none of those things happened, when you take the life of a child, you might be a security threat. And when it's a high profile case, dumbass. Extra. The following shows more examples of civil liberties violations. And I will let you guys know that are new here. Letecia she either through video visits and phone calls hears and watches and listens to the things that have been said about her on here, because she used to, on the Getting Out app, send me a bunch of messages regarding my lives, and then she would block me so I couldn't say anything to her. All I did was I added her as a contact when we found out that's how we found out she was in Kansas. We found her on that app. And as soon as I added her as a contact, she blocked me and then would unblock me and respond to everything I said in the live. And then block me again. And then if you haven't been here, it was a journey with her, but I'll continue. So she says, all these grievances were opened for months. Negligence. Others are still open past time frame. Staff did injury my right ring finger. Again, illiterate. Can you not just if you're filing legal paperwork, I wish a lot of people would actually think about this. Proofread, maybe write in pencil and correct it. And then, I don't know, make a second copy. But there are so many errors. It's frustrating. Staff did underline twice injury my right ring finger and are trying to cover it up. Officers should have made report. Then she claims, and we talked a lot about this and how this should be taken seriously. All of them should be, but I think that they are. So she goes on to say, I was sexually harassed/assaulted by a staff member, and TCF is in violation of this number. A, improper handling of PREA. B, violation of handling PREA and medical. C, retaliation for filing the PREA. And she lists all kinds of grievances in that. And then D, Valerie Watts, who's being sued by her, PREA coordinator, failure to perform job duties. Continue, arrow, civil liberties, arrow, under KSA, certain law. Personal safety with a grievance, religion with a grievance, several of them. Civil liberty denial of access to court in sending state. Equal protection, not similarly situated. Who does she think they're going to put her with? The nonviolent, tax evasion inmates? I don't know. They injure me, she writes in broken English, but she's got her doctorate. you know? She's did injury. Spicy, nauseous alley today. Yeah, I know. I'm actually feeling like a little bit better right this second. I just ate something. I'm kind of like right on the teetering on the line, but this kind of helps me feel better. Take my mind off of it. Hey, tell the truth. Hey, Queen Bella. Hey, you guys coming in. Then okay, so she shows them this and she writes on it, by the way. So this is a response that they sent her to a grievance where they say, the grievance coordinator, your grievance has been reviewed. You have stated the facility is currently in violation of all these laws. You also state that in your grievance that your interstate compact case is not a matter of classification, but rather a matter of due process. Conclusions. The grievance coordinator replied that you did not follow the grievance procedure according to state law because you did not seek out informal resolution with your unit team. You claim in your grievance appeal answer that you have sought informal resolution, but you did not attach the evidence letting us know of your attempts or to let us know the Form 9 electronic numbers so there could be verification of these attempts. The grievance procedure requires you keep your evidence together so it can be reviewed in its entirety. Makes perfect sense. Interstate compact cases require you to follow the classification requirements of the state of Kansas. Kansas Department of Corrections, which means you cannot grieve your classification placement at the facility. State law states the grievance procedure shall not be used in any way as a substitute or for part of a disciplinary procedure. Or classifications and where they put you in the jail or property laws. She says, this is not a classification issue and it is under equal protection as the statutes, again, statutes like the one up in New York City, Miss Statue of Liberty, are being violated. I wonder if they know, like, do the statues are being violated. How do you handle something like that? This response is moot. Lack of knowledge. She's just, I just can't get over her fucking attitude, man. This is moot. Lack of knowledge. Yeah, they are lacking the knowledge. Okay. Hey, Jonesy. Sorry, guys. Have some congestion happening too. All right, let's keep going. So then she sends another grievance response that was sent to her that says your grievance was reviewed. It is being returned to you for failure to follow the grievance procedure. Again, you have to do things a certain way. You can't just make the rules up as you go and get pissed nobody else is following the rules. They say, you are required to attach documentation of the things that you're doing. She said, I did attach originally. I gave this to Miss Butler on, and then she doesn't have the date. What? Oh my God. Okay. And so then she has this, and this is the grievance form where she says this facility is in violation of these state laws and to include the 14th Amendment due process. I am being denied civil liberties in Kansas. And she also sends another one that she had sent to them. In response to your reply on 10/25, first you made an accusation saying I had made comments to residents. This was unfounded and false. If I made a comment that you molested a child, it would be the same, a lie, and unfounded, in violation of due process. This facility is what? Oh my God. This facility is in violation, and she lists several state laws, a couple state laws. All inmates confined shall be treated in a reasonable and humane manner and treated equally with such inmates of the receiving state. Also, inmates should not be denied of civil liberties. They said, you are not illegally detained, and this facility is not violating any of your rights. It's just so simple, the response. Someone worn the Statue of Liberty. This is a problem. All right, so I wanted to tell you guys, this is actually already uploaded to my Patreon. It's on the free tier. The free tier, I put all the court documents. I try to, I say this every live or every few lives. All the court documents we go over and different things like that, the timeline I created on Stephen Stearns, that's on the free tier. And then the paid tier is for lives and videos, although every few lives will be available to everyone. I just wanted to also say that since it's getting warm, I'm going to start posting pre-recorded videos. The first one either in the next day or two. Just, what I've got going on here, kind of like an inside look over there on the Patreon. Okay, so let's continue. But if you want to read this, if you want to jump ahead or whatever, you can just go over there and grab it and download the PDF. Also, one last thing, let me share Little Red's channel because, oh, thank you, Neat. I should have dropped that. She is the one who actually got these for us, and I appreciate that. She's building her own channel. Okay. Then she goes on to say, let's see. Oh, okay, so she continues from up here. She shouldn't be denied of civil liberties. Also, per your classification manual, an inmate shall not be treated this way if they never had any escape convictions, never had escape plans in their possession. Oh, my God. I have to stop because why does she do this? Like, it's on video. You bashing the guard in the head on the drive home. What were you trying to do? And then you did have escape plans in your possession. Do I need to pull up the jail file? Because I have it. 3,000 pages. We read through every single page. And they found it in your room. I mean, okay. Hey, Melissa, girl, Heidi, now you're doing the most with her nasty self. I can't wait to hear from Heidi again and all you guys. So she did have an escape plan in her possession. My God. Never created a diversion, maps, or tools. You literally, in her escape plan, why is she doing this? You don't need to get into all of this. Do you want the response? In her escape plan, she was talking about how she could fit out the window and she needed a broom, like, to bust the window. Never had any maps or tools. Oh my God. Okay. Or have never had any evidence to allude to that. The exemption to max is against the compact and denies my constitutional rights. Other inmates compared points, 8 for severity. Oh God. Inmates in the comparison chart that you have allowed to be treated differently. So remember, now she starts snitching out other inmates, bringing them in. People that don't have shit to do with it. Just saying, you treat them differently. So here's her list. Charity Blackman, civil liberties met. Michaela Spencer went to jail, civil liberties met. Heather Jones, civil liberties met. Have a list of 20 more. The facility is denying my civil liberties and the compact is illegal. I am being illegally detained. And remember, they respond to all of that and say, you are not illegally detained. And this facility is not violating any of your rights. Like, don't even want to get into all the other bullshit. Like, are you guys, I don't know. It's weird because, and I've said this about other things too, where this applies. Like, when somebody shows you who they are over and over again, how am I still shocked at their behavior? I think about this with people on YouTube as well. Like, I think that I'll stop being shocked eventually at how nasty things can get or people can be. And then something happens and there I am again, just like, what? Shocked, I don't know. Okay. To Holly Chavez, education program. She's got some more things on it. So before we go to Exhibit 4, let's look at their response to all of this. It's here at the top because, again, they've attached them backwards. So this is their Exhibit 3 of why she's full of shit and it should be thrown out. And I do agree with them so far. I mean, like I said, the sexual assault, I don't know. I think that should obviously be looked at a little closer, but and make sure that's not happening in there. But otherwise, yeah. Harley Quinn, K Ridiculo. I was here on time. Saw something shiny. Now I'm 25 minutes late. Her level of weird complaining never ceases to amaze me. Hey, Justin. Hey, JD. Well, apparently, it was big enough. She drew it in the letter that was found and everything. Do you guys remember that? You know what? Let me just load it up here so we can look at it at the end. We have the case file, but I want the jail files. And once they load, we'll search for window, and I'll show you guys because she literally drew it on the letter. So their response to all of that is, the response provided to the inmate by staff at the facility is incorporated herein by reference and made part of this response. On appeal, the inmate offers no evidence or argument that suggests that the response rendered by staff at the facility is wrong. Conclusions made. The response rendered to the inmate by staff at the facility is appropriate. All residents are required to go through the process of classification and earning levels, meaning you will earn your way to a different living situation if you just get your shit together. You are not illegally detained. You were found guilty of your charges and sentenced accordingly. If you feel you have an issue for appeal, you need to go through the courts to seek remedy. We house you by compact at the request of the state of Colorado. If you would no longer like to be on contact, that is their decision to make, and you will need to contact them. Now, we know that she does have an appeal in the process, but it's, what do you call that? It's sealed, so we can't see anything about it. It's like, dude, I mean, it's your right, sure, but with all the evidence against you, you did what you did. You need to just shut up and be happy that you're still alive and you have the opportunity to live a life even if it's in prison. Whoa, what did I do here? You're not alone, Allie. You don't think like these people. After time goes on, your mind is on something completely different. And before you know, these people are showing you themselves all over again. That's so freaking true. And it's like, what? I don't know. Now she's a sovereign citizen. She's insufferable and stupid, my God. Hey, Mallory. All right, let's continue. So now we're on Exhibit 4. And we're going to, again, skip their answer and let's look at what her grievances first. Because this is their filing. So they have all this is stuff they've acquired. Letecia ain't bringing the receipts like this. At least, yeah, she's just not bringing it like this. Tell the secretary, this is February. So that was like January. Now we're in February. Tell the secretary what you feel the principal administrator should have done. She said, I received remedy granted to grievances, number ending in 61 and 08. However, the UTM and officer said it's not a policy. Appealed to warden, and it is well beyond the response time for responding. Asking how to begin the remedy. The policy is not followed. And she has the grievance numbers. She has violation of federal laws, and then puts the laws in here, PREA policy and retaliation. And again, if you guys weren't here like in the beginning of this lawsuit, the retaliation claims, so she had her tablet taken. This happened after she accused someone of not sexual assault, but what is it? Harassment, sexual harassment. So she accuses someone of that. I think that was it at first, but and then she has her tablet taken. And according to Letecia, that was retaliation for reporting the harassment or assault. And they took her tablet or he said it, but they actually took it because she sold a pair of her fucking sweatpants on eBay for $200. That is why the tablet was taken. She left that out. All right. We might hear about that in a moment. So she says the facility is in violation of all these laws. And remember, while we're reading this, she is currently the in-house civil suit attorney for the women in Topeka Correctional Facility. I know, Jay, who bought that? I know, Kelly, that's the same way I felt too when we first read that. I'm thinking that it's going to be in here somewhere. But the state or the prison and all the people she's suing had to turn in a Martinez report, which is like all of their information about all the things that have happened, her claims, what actually happened, everything. It was like a big report, a huge thing that was due. They were late on it, but when that finally came out, we got all this background we didn't know. And I know I have a live on that. I don't know the name. I think there's a playlist for this lawsuit, actually. So you guys can just go to my channel, and under playlist, you can see the other things that have happened along the way. So she gives all these electronic grievance numbers and says the facility refused to open these. After complaining to the UTM and Holly Chavez, she responded that no one was available on this grievance number ending in 11. The abuse continued and retaliation increased as Valerie Watts failed to do her job. No one wanted to help. Then I wrote Holly Chavez, and another excuse was given and told EAI that the grievances were not opened. Now the facility has blocked me from continuing with these because they are open electronically. Then on step 3, the warden refused to help and has passed the deadline as well. All of the grievances are outside the deadline per policy. The retaliation has continued from the UTM, Harpins, TCF, etc. And I am still around my abuser and not in the LRE per KDOC policy. I have not been given any help from my abuser and suffer from PTSD and missing medication. You suffer from missing medication? The rise to the level of cruel and unusual to be subjected to sexual abuse and retaliation. I know those pants smelled like Long John Silver's and bad catfish. Whew. Can you imagine thinking that you would be helped to have Letecia as your law helper? Wow, just wow. Hey, Reinventing Daily. Yeah, someone bought her sweatpants, Valerie. And whenever we found that out, there was a person in the chat named The Collector. Actually, Tess, can you grab me that link? Let me know if you can't, and I'll grab it. But he has a YouTube channel, and his whole thing is like collecting, they call it murderabilia. And so he came up and gave his thoughts on who would buy something like that, why they would buy something like that. Now, not everyone was happy either. People were very angry. You know, people have their thought, obviously, because they're not famous, they're infamous, but for something horrific, right? That shouldn't be celebrated like that or whatever. But $200, Harley Quinn, $200. So, not Long John Silver. All right. Now, she said she was told this was not grievable, need to exhaust remedies, see all electronic 9s, and list a whole bunch of electronic grievances. You should have seen her grievances in the county jail. There's a playlist on her time in the county jail because that was like a 3,000-page document that we purchased and then dug through together. And at one point, it was just nothing but her kites. So there's a playlist of that, and I had a little series called Tidbits of Tisha. Now I'd play this banjo music. It was silly, but also, how can you not, like, when you're reading all this stuff happening in the jail, you guys, If you have not heard those, you would be absolutely amazed the shit she was up to. Not only what she was up to, but also what other people were up to, like against her. There were people that would write and say, or would pull guards aside and say, listen, I helped search for that baby. I am not going to be in a room with her. I'm trying to get out and I can't control myself. Like, for real. It gives you a little peek into what her life, looks like and is going to look like. Well, I was hungry. I'm sorry. I was hungry till y'all started talking about her smelly sweatpants. Great diet trick. Oh my God, I've had no appetite all day, and I think that was making my nausea worse. Like, now that I've ate, I'm feeling a lot better. Okay. What did MKC say? They said stink across the ass instead of pink. MK, hand me your devices. Okay. Now, not similarly situated. This pisses me off. Again, you are one of the most violent offenders, not similarly situated, and with institutional violent offenders. KDOC is aware, of the risk. KDOC says this is a housing issue and is not grievable, but instead it's due process in being similarly situated. All right, let me say this. First of all, like they said earlier, she has to work her way, prove that she won't be a problem, and then she can work her way to more freedom. Well, I just don't know what she's expecting. Her crime is unbelievably violent. That in itself. We have the attack on the guard when she's first arrested, and that's on video. Have you guys seen that? Then we have, actually, I'm gonna pull that up real fast. Let's look at this for a second. I know Grizzly has a short on it. Hold on. Then during transport, she throws toilet water that literally has shit in it on her roommate in jail. She gets in trouble for that. Who do you expect to be with? Oh my gosh, Kelly, you've never seen it? Okay, I'm grabbing it. I got it right here. Here we go. I'm gonna warn y'all. She looks like she's doing some sort of exorcist thing, like something takes over her soul or something. It's kind of crazy, but okay. And I've got window searched on another window in the jail file so we can look at her escape plan as well. Okay, so look at her.
She keeps threatening me. Stop. Well, she keeps threatening me.
She keeps threatening me, is what she said. I'm going to let it play again while we talk. I'm sure if you've never seen that, you're like, what in the hell? She does this little head roll to try to hide what she's doing. Yes, her hair peak. Ugh. That shit stinks. I'm sorry. She's she is still being told about these videos. She's probably going to be very angry because we haven't clowned her for a while. It's been a minute, but you can't help it. I mean, look at this. Look what she does. It is what it is. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Jay, had you not seen this? So she's arrested before. Hold on. I just want to try to leave the baby out of this. He does not deserve for the rest of forever to be attached to her. She's arrested and being sent back to Colorado. Okay. And they send a van with 2 women that come and get her, and they drive all the way back. Thank God they have cameras and stuff the whole time going. And, one of the officers, actually, they both testified at the trial and talked about this. But yeah. Hey, Lisa. Oh, wow, Jay. Yeah. So remember, when we're reading this, who is writing this. She actually had been held for a couple days in South Carolina, and she had to have a hearing and stuff for extradition. But she does that head roll. You never saw it either, Bogart, trying to cover up like what she's doing, obviously. Let me see. Window. There's 67 times that window is mentioned in her files. I'm going to try escape. Let's go back over here. So again, she's pissed that she's being housed with violent offenders. How does that make sense? Okay. Let me keep going because I could sit here forever. I can't wrap my mind around it. She says, they say this is a housing issue, due process, and similarly situated. She says, the situation is atypical because no prison to which I might be transferred for non-disciplinary reasons is more restrictive. Comparison chart. Discriminates against me only. Remember, she keeps comparing herself to the other inmates. Then she says, to whom it may concern, I am being denied access to the courts in Colorado. I started off by telling Miss Bredding and then spoke to Holly several times on electronic forms. I've emailed the IT back and said they have Dutch. Her handwriting is terrible. You're trying to get your way. You're trying to get like your way and debate this situation, and this is the best you can do. My God. She says, she needs to have access to the court. It's a First Amendment right, and not having it causes an injury and prevents me from progressing a legal claim, which we know that she has. Her appeal is happening. So she goes on to say, I then escalated it, and the time frame has expired for responding. Then the facility blocked my access to the electronic Form 9s that were in progress and the grievances in progress. There are more, but the facility has a culture in place to block inmates from advancing their grievances. I am pro se. The delay and denial of access to the courts is causing a constitutional injury of timelines for appeals and for filing civil rights violations. Then again, here's her response to Chavez. I cannot read this. Case law shows we are to be similarly situated. We are not. This is a violation of federal law of prison library. The facility is using the central library to show there is one when we are not similarly situated, causing a constitutional injury. We cannot tell someone what we need or want if we do not know. This is a method to cover up the issue of discrimination among some females. They said attached is a resource for legal assistance. We are required to be able to research ourselves and include reference books and others. This facility doesn't have a library. We are refused attending. Okay. Then she sends another motion to the secretary. This motion will explain the grievances in this package in depth. I have attached appeal number motion. Wait a minute. What does she got here? Oh, dear God, she does not. So she's literally, this is her appeal to the secretary. Please listen to me. I have a problem. No one's listening to my problem. Here's what a motion would look like if I was to file a suit against you guys. I mean, my God, she's so manipulative. She is so antagonistic, no matter where she is. Narcissists are famous for being Karens in all situations. I cannot believe that she's fucking filling this out as if it is legal, like it's a real motion going through the court. And she's saying, this motion will explain my issues. There's no case number because it's not a case yet. It's not been filed, but I'm heavily considering filing a lawsuit against you guys. Okay. See what her motion says. That's not actually a motion because there's no case number. Nah. At least this is a little neater. Comes now. This is your appeal to the secretary. Comes now. Letecia Stauch, the petitioner, pro se, and respectfully represents that she is unlawfully deprived of her liberties at Topeka Correctional Facility in Kansas. And that cause or pretense of her restraint to the best of her knowledge and belief in case number blank. Petitioner is housed at TCF on an interstate corrections compact. Due to nature of an interstate corrections compact, the petitioner asked the court to seal any required appendix and supplements. The ICC is supposed to provide security, and due to sensitivity and the level of public interest in this case, this would benefit both parties. Further, petitioner states that said imprisonment is wrong for the following reasons. 14th Amendment, 8th Amendment, Kansas State Law 1, 2, and 3, Prison Policy and Interstate Corrections Compact, 6th Amendment, 1st Amendment. Note, numbers included are electronic form numbers. I verified the above is true. This is not, oh my God. Now, petitioner has not filed an action in state court in Kansas or any state. So this is all bullshit and language I'm using to manipulate you, hoping I can scare you into giving me my way. Petitioner contends that she has no administrative remedies open to her at this time. In addition, due to security reasons and the sensitivity and nature of it, the petitioner has been informed that the violations of the ICC is no longer grievable, and the facility has took extreme measures to prevent this information from reaching the individuals involved in communicating. They're telling her, we can't do anything about this. We've just read it. You have to contact them directly. The petitioner asked that writ of habeas corpus be used and that she be discharged from the unlawful portion of her imprisonment. Petitioner requests a hearing in the above case. I mean, oh my God. I'm denied the right to access to court. I spoke with the law librarian about the issue of having access to Colorado courts. She responded, I spoke to someone at central office and we don't have to give you the statues. Again, Statues of Liberty. I escalated the issue through several individuals, explaining that the lack of resources deprived me of a specific opportunity to defend myself and advance a viable legal claim in a criminal appeal, a post-conviction matter, and an action involving civil rights. In fact, my information would be dismissed due to the technical requirements and the statute of limitations for filing and responding. The facility has continued to deny under right to assistance claim and engage in retaliation for access to the courts. She requested all copies of electronic forms, equal protection. All right, let's see what she says here. And you guys, I can't see her comments while I'm reading, just so you know, but I do check them when as we take little breaks along the way. And we're just about done for today, but we got a couple more things to look at. So prisons cannot treat members of one religion differently when there aren't other compelling reasons outside religion. This is under the First Amendment as well and under the prison's policy. TCF originally told me in August that I could not check Native American and attend church, as they recognize smudging as a religious act instead of attending church services. I explained that this was a culture for some, as many Native Americans believe in Christ. Then I was told that Jewish could not attend church either under the Christian faith, although Masonic Jews believe in Christ. Oh, so that's what she is. That's, oh my God. And there was no services for Jews. In addition, they did not provide a kosher, even though attachment shows the policy for kosher. I was told that the male prisons are allowed to have these rights by the chaplain, but TCF does not allow them. Then I was told in order to attend church, I must change my religion to Protestant. After being forced to change my religion, I have evidence of this on electronic Form 9s. The facility refused to allow me to practice Jewish holidays after agreeing to put in the change of religion for church purposes, only by Chaplain Waller and Holly Chavez. Retaliation began an anti-Semitic, oh my God. So she is claiming there being anti-Semitic towards her. Jay, I know I probably didn't say that word right, so I do apologize, you guys, if I didn't, which I'm sure I didn't. And Mallory, thank you for joining. I saw that a second ago, and I meant to say that. Okay, so anti-Semitic behaviors. She's such a manipulative, lying bitch. Dude, I can't stand people like this. I don't want you anywhere near me, around me, in my vicinity. I don't even want you in the circle of my my circle. Not even my own circle, but in like a friend's circle. I can't stand people like that, like this. Just anything and everything to get their way. Anything and everything for sympathy. My God, makes me sick, dude. Because this is very serious. Like, there are people who are actually doing things that are anti-Semitic, towards Jewish people, and judging people for all kinds of things like that. Like all the things she claims, sexual assault, very serious. Like, these are serious things, and you just throw them out to get your way. It's sick. She said anti-Semitic behaviors happened around Jewish holiday. Finally, my building was denied church services altogether when I do not have any disciplinary reports, nor am I an institutional violent offender. And I can't always find my words, especially today. I'm kind of thrown off. I don't feel very good. So I could probably explain my thoughts better, but just not today. So I'm sorry, you guys. But again, nor am I an institutional violent offender. So then who is? What, like, when are you considered to be institutionally violent? I don't know. Remember this? You're not violent? What about what you're just charged with in general? Like what your main charges are, why you're in prison in the first place? Doesn't that matter? Or throwing feces on other inmates and things like that? Okay. Not violent. Then who the hell is? Then who is? TCF will respond that we have church, but that is not true. The facility is allowing Muslims, Native Americans, and witchcraft to continue at the facility, but has discriminated against those who believe in Christ and allowing us to have self-led Bible study. The issue with this is I would have access to my religion and a religious diet of a kosher in my sending state. And exclusion from others similarly situated as a member of a suspect class. Then she goes into the Eighth Amendment. She says, the prison shows deliberate indifference to her risk of harm because they were aware and had knowledge that she was sexually harassed by an officer in August of 23. The facility has a policy in place. Isn't that right when she got there? August of 23. They did not investigate or speak to me in August of 23. The issue escalated and I was sexually assaulted. So first, remember, like I said earlier, first it was harassed, then assaulted in the shower in October. I sent emergency grievances in October. The facility refused to open the grievances. Now I want to pause again. This is something you should take serious. This is real, this happens to real inmates, to real people. Should always be taken serious. She has a history of claiming these things against people, and it's not true. But regardless, take it serious. She says the abuse continued. I reported it several times. I was told it was my word against his and no cameras were in the shower, even though they know he went in the area. This is a violation of this law and is cruel and unusual to show deliberate indifference as inmate is incarcerated under conditions posing a substantial risk of serious harm. You sure you ain't got access to the law library, girl? It sure sounds like it. She says they didn't take any reasonable measures to keep this from happening again. And after reporting to Priya, I was forced to stay around my abuser, who continued to harass me on the job. I continued to report the issues to Valerie Watts. She ignored the retaliation claims. I reported this to Holly Chavez. Her response was it's not grievable, as there's no appeal tab on her electronic forms. Therefore, this is why she ignored them and failed to respond. The retaliation continued in the form of harassment by Dalton Hartpence, by forcing Linda Holveria to take my job from me, to refuse to assist me with any housekeeping matters that counselors help others with, and continue forcing me around my abuser. The two developed a campaign of harassment for doing something that I had a constitutional right to do, which was to be free from sexual abuse, as it is cruel and unusual. Okay. Prison officials are to provide reasonable safety and must refrain from subjecting them to unnecessary violence. And TCF has actual knowledge of the risk of being around institutional violent inmates. So now she's complaining. Here she is. It's a risk to have me around violent people. Who the hell else do you go with? TCF is purposely avoiding knowledge, and it amounts to deliberate indifference. This situation is atypical. Oh my God. She said the courts have responded with, if the prison was a country club nightmare, or atmosphere, I'm sorry, nightmare. We're going to pause here. We'll come back because this is kind of long and we don't have time to get through it all. God, look at all this. We'll come back and read through all of this and hear the response before we go on to Exhibit 5. So remember, we're pausing at the point where she should not be around violent offenders. It's wrong. It's dangerous. Okay. Oh my God. I just cannot believe her. All right. So let's come over here. Inmate has a history of manipulating housing and attempt escape. That's not it though. This is where they talk about her while being transported. She hit an officer in the face with an object and attempted to escape out of the vehicle. This is also on the Patreon, but it's a little different. I think I had to upload it to a drive because it's so long, 2,900 pages. All right, here we go. So this is number 12. Let's go up to 11. Scab wanting to escape through the cell window. This is what we're going to end with, okay? So someone told the officers that she was planning on breaking out of her room. At approximately whatever, an inmate pulled me aside and said she has received a couple of letters from inmate Stauch with plans to escape. Hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Okay. Sorry. On May 5th, inmate Stauch was housed in blank. Okay, she is classified as a full restraint. She has serious classifications because of her history, because she's violent. She can't go around unless she has restraints on wrists and ankles. I went into inmate cell at 700 and interviewed her. She says this is where she gave me both of the letters she received from inmate Stauch. She told me Stauch has been talking a lot lately to the other inmates in the ward. She said Stauch had been making plans to escape and was looking for inmate blank's help. She's planning on breaking out of her window and measured herself, saying she will fit right through the window. I asked, why would she choose her to help you escape? Okay, so let's see. I received 2 letters from the inmate that came from inmate Stauch. The first letter I opened, Stauch writes that her grandpa was putting $75,000 in an account for a private attorney. Stauch wrote the account is open for her daughter to use as well. She wrote to the inmate saying she would much rather use the money to survive, if you know what I mean. She goes on to saying, you have my word to make sure we are MIA. I got us covered. Stauch then says they just need to set up some access points. These are quotes. She mentions that once they get access to state banks and funds, they will be good. She added in the letter that this is written partially in code. So literally on the letter, it says some of this is in code. Okay. A second letter, inmate Stauch wrote she had been looking for days and already measured, drawing something that resembled the window in her cell. Then she said, this is perfect. She also asked for the inmate to check the broom piece since she gets to use that item. So this isn't maps and tools. Remember, she was saying, like, she's never been caught with maps and tools. She added in her letter she was dead serious. All right, let's see, because they do attach the letter, but I hope it's right directly after. If not, I'll find it for next time. But I think it's just right here because yeah. So here we go. These are the letters that they found. Look, here's the window. Already measured the window. It's perfect. She has like a little square box. It's perfect. Where does she write it's in code? I forgot about that. I mean, oh, right here. Partial code talk since they opened my letters. So again, I'll leave this open. I'll leave where we're at in the lawsuit. And when we come back, we'll continue the discussion based around how she was trying to escape, how she claims that she's never tried to escape, that there's never been any evidence. And we'll go on to see what they had to say about all of her claims. There's a lot more. We got to get through a lot more of her chicken scratch. So, whew. I got to prepare myself, but all right, we're going to go over to Jen's. She's going live with Dr. B. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I will go ahead and schedule tonight the live for tomorrow. And then the next day we'll get back to Stephen Stern's calls, but I would like to get through some more of this with you guys. Both are so interesting. So yeah, thank you for being here. And if you're interested in that case, please check those out. It's been super intriguing to listen to what was going on and what he was saying and how he was feeling and thinking. And then again, over on Patreon, I have the timeline I created for that case, these documents that we're going through, the lawsuit documents, everything. And I'm going to drop Patreon again. Now I'm going to drop Bendy's channel one more time, and then Little Red, because she helped me get those documents. And I can't wait for Melissa and I to get back to Casey Anthony. So we're going to do that this week too. I haven't got to speak to her. She's been busy, but we'll figure it out. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for the well wishes. Honestly, always when I'm not feeling good, I come on here. It always makes me feel better too. So thank you guys for helping make me feel better. And I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.